Good morning. 안녕하세요. I am so excited to be here with you today in Seoul. Wow, we've got a fantastic lineup for you today. Industry experts, customers, partners, our communities and our contributors, they're all here to share with you in this day and help to really expand what we're thinking, right? And I'm also hoping to give you some perspective today as well on what we call changing the way that we work. Now, changing the way that we work, we believe, is the catalyst for transforming ourselves and being on this digital path to leadership. So, we live in extraordinary times, right? And in these extraordinary times, possibilities have never been greater for all of us. But with these possibilities, there also comes risks, right? We, I think, seem to understand what has brought us here is not what's going to get us there for our future tomorrow. Now, capabilities, efficiency, creativity, all of these are core parts of building our future roadmap together. And if we think back, right, if we think back and look at the examples throughout history, in the history of human development, this idea of the scientific method, which gave us the process by which we understand the world, this method developed by Sir Francis Bacon, at the core of its method is curiosity. And importantly, this method is not just about the what, right? It's about the how we incorporate innovation into what we do. Look at all the examples around us. You know, look at how much our world is changing on a daily basis. Us, you, me, in our own work, we iterate, we try, we fail, and we learn. And it's this process of learning. Through this process, that is how we innovate. So, innovation is a great word, and it can lead to many possibilities. But in essence, we believe that in order to innovate and innovate successfully, we need to do this in a way that is safe, right? As technologists and innovators and thinkers, we have serious questions that we have to answer on a daily basis. Forget the fact that we have to continue to change quickly, be more agile, do more things, but we're constantly having to figure out, where do I start? Who do I trust? What applications can I build here? You know, people often innovate what we found in very small groups, but that isn't enough. We need to grow. We need to grow innovation in our teams, in our organizations, across our communities. And the question is, how do we scale up together, right? And not only just scale, but do so in a way that's safe and secure. And we believe that the open source environment is that environment for us to scale together in this safe and secure way. So, innovation is not just given to us. It's not something that somebody hands to you, right? It requires, you know, our concept, this open innovation requires a fundamental shift in thinking and changing in the way that we work, right? It's how we decide what work to do, how we divide it amongst our teams, how we interact and engage with community contributors, with partners, with customers. These are the challenges of business innovation. And what we see here are two models, right? One model represents the more traditional, top-down, hierarchical, command and control type of environment. Now, this is what we've been using for decades and decades. We've all been a part of this system, right? And of course, there's beauty in it, but there's also beauty in what we've been doing at Red Hat, in innovating in this open way, right? Where Ideas and innovation come from anywhere and anyone. And collaborating in communities is really a bottoms-up exercise to figure out where the best idea will come from. And let's be transparent here. When it comes to open source and enterprise open source, we're listening to our customers. We're listening to the fact that 89% of IT leaders think that enterprise open source is a core part of their innovation strategy moving forward. And not only that, 59% believe that they will increase their use of enterprise open source over the next 12 months. Now, what are they doing? Why do they want to use all of this enterprise open source innovation? Well, it's simply to migrate infrastructure, develop new applications. And when we ask them why are they using open source? The reasons they shared with us were it gives them access to the latest innovations. Super important and super fast. It also helps them to improve security. And on top of everything, a benefit is that it lowers the total cost of ownership for all of us. Now, we believe that enterprise open source is here to stay. So, Red Hat has been working on these challenges of innovating in these open environments for more than 25 years, across hundreds of communities, okay? Tens and thousands of people around the globe contributing to make our technologies better. Now, when the pioneers of open source started, when they were creating software and tools and processes, they were creating these just to make life easier, right? And we at Red Hat are the beneficiaries, along with you, of these creations. This open source way of doing things has helped to inform us on how our code is shared and created, how we communicate and collaborate with each other, and ultimately, even in Red Hat, how our teams operate and organize with each other. Open source is truly embedded in the way that we work, and that's exciting for us. Now, I sometimes remind my friends that IBM and open source have had a huge history of innovation, and IBM and Red Hat for the past 20 years have been innovating together in this open source environment. So when the announcement came out this past July, it made perfect sense. Joining forces with IBM, Red Hat, we now have the opportunity to together bring more open source innovation to more organizations and many more countries where we never even had a presence. We never even dreamed that we would probably have a presence. Now, as a part of this entire historical deal, some things will remain the same. Red Hat is still Red Hat. We remain neutral, the neutral partners when it comes to open source and the open source community and the innovations that we help to drive and support. And we are an independent unit under IBM with our own objectives and goals. As a part of this unit and as a part of this deal, however, we are now positioned together with IBM to be the leading hybrid cloud provider. And what we truly believe is that the people who will benefit the most from this collaboration are you, our customers, the contributors, our partners, the people that engage with us every day because of the strength of what we will be able to offer. In 2008, we started what we call at Red Hat the open source way. Now, the term open source actually came a few decades ago, right? And the open source term was really to describe a method in creating software. But we realized that this open collaboration and culture works so well that we're able to share it and use the same principles to define how we work and we live in our business and our culture at Red Hat. And around 2015, we wrote a book, not just to talk about what, but to share and talk about the how and the why. Sharing what we learned building within the communities, sharing what we learned building our open source company and organization with our customers and our partners. Because they didn't just want to know what we do. They also wanted to understand the how and the why. We follow this way of thinking. Now, we all ask ourselves, why? Why are we here? Why are we learning these new technologies? Why are these things important for us? Now, we believe the why for us, why do we work this way, in this open way? We believe it simply produces better results. We cannot innovate faster and be more successful doing the same things that we've always done before. In today's world, a fundamental change in how we are working within this digital native, cloud-ready environment is critical for us to really understand and figure out how we engage in this new process. We believe, and I definitely passionately believe, that new ideas can come from anyone and anywhere. And that the beauty of all of this is that we believe open can unlock the world's potentials, not just for our partners and our customers, which are paramount for us, but also the people around us that are sitting in this room, all of us together. We all have more opportunities now than ever because of these open environments. Now, research says that having diverse and inclusive teams can create better business decisions. Right? So 60% better results were delivered when decisions are made and executed by diverse teams. And this thinking and this application of how we think about people and teams and how we collaborate and work with each other, to me, it makes so much sense. Because being more open, being more inclusive in what we do has created and yielded so many great results that we've seen, not just within Red Hat as an open source provider, but within the entire industry. So, now, I would like to invite Damian Wong, who is the Vice President and General Manager of the GEMS region, to come up and share more, give us a little bit more insight into the successes that we've seen working together with our customers. Damien?
Thanks very much, Helen.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, annyeonghaseyo. My name is Damian Wong, Vice President and General Manager for Red Hat across the Asian growth and emerging markets. And of course, very importantly, love to be here in Korea with our passionate Red Hat Korea team. Now, Helen has shared with everyone and given examples of how organizations are leveraging open source to expand their possibilities and also changing the way that they work to drive innovation. And many people might ask, is this only applicable to digital companies or modern companies or cloud-native companies? And we believe that this is definitely not the case. which is why we wanted to showcase that it is, definitely applicable and definitely able for companies to take these innovations in open source and the new ways of working and drive digital transformation. So it's not that difficult, and the best way for us to demonstrate this is to give you examples of customers in traditional enterprises and industries to do this. And this is why I wanted to highlight a couple of customers in this process, because the best way to learn is to look at how others have done it, how they've applied the use of enterprise open source, how they've changed the way they've worked in order to get, to digitally transform states. So I'm sure many of you would have heard of Cathay Pacific. Cathay Pacific is an airline that is based in Hong Kong, but it's a global airline, one of the world's leading airlines. And obviously, Cathay Pacific were faced with a very disrupted travel and transportation industry. And they had to transform themselves in order to survive and grow, right? Which is not easy because airlines obviously are heavily regulated, and airlines have a lot of legacy infrastructure, legacy application development processes, which is where Red Hat worked with Cathay Pacific, right? And Cathay Pacific used Red Hat technologies to help them transform and modernize their legacy infrastructure and their application development processes. And the end results are staggering because they have been able to increase application development throughputs by a factor of 10, from an average of 20 application changes a day to over 200 a day. Now, digital transformation is about how we can roll out new application capabilities and new features to customers faster than other organizations, than even digital companies. So this was an amazing outcome for Cathay Pacific. And obviously, it's not just about technology. Technology is important, but it's about technology and process and people. And that's what Cathay Pacific did. Working with Red Hat's consulting in order to help them shape their DevOps processes and roll it out, working with Red Hat's training team to enable their organization on new ways of working. They were able to take open source innovation like Red Hat OpenShift, be able to apply it into their industry, right? Making use of modern ways of developing applications, and the results are just amazing. So I want to cite a quotation from Carrie Pierce. Carrie is a friend of mine, and you saw her in the video earlier at the very start of the event, where she shared in Red Hat Summit about what they had done. This quote summarizes, how they felt that Red Hat has helped them. The quote says, "Red Hat solutions have enabled us to deliver value to our customers much faster with improved performance and stability." So that's, again, the power of "and," right? When you expand your possibility, it's not faster or better performance and stability, it's both. It's deliver faster and with greater performance and stability and greater value to their customers. This is something that all of us want to achieve, and we're very proud to work with Cathay Pacific to help them achieve these goals and become a leader in this digital space. But obviously, while we have showcased a global customer, the results that we've been able to achieve are not limited to companies outside of Korea. We have seen some amazing examples of Korean companies who have driven innovation. Later today, this morning, we are going to honor a couple of very innovative Korean organizations who've been able to take enterprise open source, apply open organization principles to drive successful digital transformation. The list is not exhaustive. There are many other customers in Korea that Red Hat works with, right? These are some of them that we're very proud to showcase across different industries: financial services, telecommunications, manufacturing. We have very traditional companies in traditional industries, as well as digital natives in the mix. So with that, I'd like to invite back on stage Helen to share details of how Red Hat can help you expand your possibilities as well as change the way you work in order to drive your own digital transformation journey. Thank you very much, 감사합니다. Helen, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Damien. I just love, well, first of all, seeing all these great customer logos that we have up here in Korea. And I love hearing the stories. Even Cathay Pacific, I've heard it so many times. The thing that inspires me the most is that the story of innovation and the story of disruption is something that these customers have felt that Red Hat could help them with. And that means a lot to me. So, as you can see, we can help organizations of many sizes, in many markets, and figure out in a safe and secure way how to scale innovation, how to be better and go faster and add value all at the same time. And with this model that we've been applying to creating our products and our technologies, that we've been applying to how we run our organizations, you've seen the benefits of what we produce, what we've been producing in containerization, what we've been producing in hybrid cloud, in automation, all of these areas. You are also exposed to our open source culture in our products through our communities. And our open innovation labs, which you'll learn a little bit more about later today, it's really just this great experience where we offer a very immersive approach to help people, teams, organizations, and companies learn how to code in the open source way and create code that will make a difference in their organization's initiatives and projects. No matter where you are in your technology journey, we believe that we can help to be a catalyst for change and a catalyst for safe and secure change. And we would love to work with you on helping you unlock your potential. So we can start by looking at what we're doing today and figuring out what we can quickly achieve. But let's also think about tomorrow and where we want to go. It is all about, guess the word, it is all about innovation, right? As I mentioned before, innovation in technology, it is fundamental to what we are doing here and why we are here, to what excites us. And fundamentally, we at Red Hat believe that people are the drivers of this change. So, if you're like most, you're probably thinking about, okay, we want cloud, we want hybrid, we want all of these things, but we also want to think more. We want to think more about AI. We want to think more about how we're going to apply machine learning, blockchain. And if you're like most, you're probably not just thinking about one of these things, but all of them, maybe even more, right? The possibilities here are endless. And that's the most fun part for us all. The possibilities are endless. And no single person and no single company has all the answers. But that's why we have this vast network of contributors, collaborators, customers, and partners that all work together to support our innovation journeys. The future, we believe, is open. It's more important than ever to find a trusted partner and partners around you that can help you to build your open future. And we believe we can help you to create a strategy, an approach, an execution model to adopt the latest technologies while meeting the demands of change over time. That's why Red Hat is here for you today. And that is why we believe we will still be here tomorrow. So let's build our open future together. Now, thank you so much for your time this morning. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have an awesome day today, learning from each other and gaining more insights. Thank you very much.